Hello, everyone. I'm Dee Hinton with Central Mississippi Real Producers. We are here today for another episode of our podcast. As probably many of you know, and if you don't know what Real Producers is all about, we are a company that identifies and celebrates the top producing real estate agents in Central Mississippi area. And also, in addition to that, we help these top agents to connect with top industry professionals that agents work with. And we happen to have one of our top industry professionals with us, join us today on our podcast. First, let me introduce Gingerlin Wallace. Gingerlin is our creative marketing director here at Central Mississippi Real Producers. And Gingerlin also has her own staging and interior design company called G Design. So if you need to have your house looking top-notch, that's what Gingerlin does. And then also joining us is Brad Benton with Cadence Bank. Cadence and Brad and all of his people are valuable partners with Central Mississippi Real Producers, have been a partner with us now for a couple of years. And we are very appreciative of the support that you and Cadence are giving us at Central Mississippi.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. As usual, we're just going to kick this off. But I do want to say also, and we'll try to reiterate this at the end, that we want you to go to our Facebook site for podcasts, which is Central MS Real Producers. That's right. On Facebook, and you can see these podcasts and other videos that we do there. Also, anywhere else?
We need you to subscribe. Look us up
Yes.
on YouTube. Look us up on your favorite podcast platform and subscribe so that you see all the new episodes that come out and you can listen and support us.
Yes, this is podcasts are fairly new for us. I think this is podcast number 5 or 6?
5, I think.
Number 5, I think. That
Something
we
like that.
are doing, but the ways that we celebrate and connect realtors and partners is through our magazines. We have a monthly magazine that will have top realtors featured in it, telling their story, sharing their success in the real estate business. We have those on display right now. And then also we have quarterly social networking events that are very, very nice.
So
and
much fun.
We have lots of realtors and all of our partners join us. And it's a really good chance to shake hands and hug necks and face-to-face, eye-to-eye interaction, right, which I believe is the best way to build relationships in life and in business. And that's what our company stands for and is all about. It's building relationships. We don't sell magazines. All that we do is promote and celebrate top real estate agents and help these top real estate agents to meet top industry professionals. And now podcast has become the latest way that we've added to do this. And in essence, what we're doing is talking to Brad. We did feature Brad and Cadence in our magazine a few months back, and where we told his story and all about Cadence. But this is a video, in essence, of what we did a few months back on your feature, where
Sure.
we just talk about you and whatever it is that you want to share with us. And I'm sure Gingerlin has a whole long list of questions.
I see that long list of questions.
You better get ready.
To help prompt you. So go ahead, Gingerlin. Question number 1.
Question number 1. Yeah. Brad, we're so glad that you're able to join us today. We look forward to kind of hearing a little bit more about you.
Absolutely.
It was great to read your article, but it's always great to hear it, straight from the source. So before we jump into, your profession and what you offer our agents, tell us just who's Brad Benton?
Brad Benton. I am the area producing manager for Cadence Bank's mortgage division. Grew up on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, been living in Jackson this time for the last 16 years, but I'm married to Bridget. She's from Starkville.
Okay.
She and I have been married for 28 years.
Wow,
We've
that's
got
awesome.
a long time. Yes.
Yeah.
We have 3 kids. My oldest, Wilson, graduated from MRA, and he's 22, a civil engineer, married.
Wow, that's great.
Got a 20-year-old son, Kyler, who graduated from Madison Central.
Okay.
He's biochemistry major, and he is
You got some
a
smart
junior
Yeah.
at
Those are some serious
Mississippi
majors.
State. Absolutely. And then my daughter's a senior at MRA, and she is very active at MRA.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about your position
Mm-hmm.
and kind of what that looks like on a day-to-day basis.
So Cadence's platform or mortgage department, we used to be Bancorp South.
I was about to say, let's just take a minute here
Yeah.
and make sure we go over that. So,
So-
Cadence is
Yes. Why don't you start from the beginning on Cadence and their
Sure.
presence here in Mississippi, the different years back. Just go back to the beginning.
Yeah. Well, Cadence used to be Bancorp South, and Bancorp South was in existence for probably 40 years, 45
Right.
years.
long time.
Bancorp South before that was Bank of Mississippi,
Okay.
Which I remember.
which, yes, and I think we switched from Bank of Mississippi to Bancorp South in, I want to say it was like 92, 93, somewhere in there. Whenever we started branching outside of the state of Mississippi and putting branches in other states, we switched our name to
Okay.
Bancorp South.
That makes sense.
And we were focused mainly on the South. And now that we are in 11 states and $52 billion bank based out of Tupelo, the bank is starting to, kind of much like what C Spire did from Cellular South to C Spire.
Sure.
We bought Cadence and we rebranded to take their name.
Okay.
And the reason we did that is as we're wanting to expand outside of the South. And
yeah, that makes sense.
we chose to rebrand to Cadence.
Okay.
How many states is Cadence in?
Yeah, we're in 11 states, $52 billion bank, and Bank of Mississippi and Bancorp South used to be, the biggest market share was Mississippi, not anymore.
Really?
Yeah, so Texas is where most of our business is at now.
Okay.
Company wide, Texas is booming.
Yeah, I have a daughter who lives in Texas and in Austin, and I saw Cadence presence there in Austin. Yeah.
We were opening up branches all over Texas right now. Not that we are not involved in Mississippi, because we are. Yeah. We're the largest Mississippi-based bank, but from a standpoint of growth for us, a lot of it's happening right now in Texas, Georgia, and Florida. Is where we're doing a lot of our growth, because we've already built out Mississippi.
Right.
We're trying to build out the other states.
Okay. Well, and back to kind of what your role and what that looks like, because I know you have a whole team. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I'm the producing area manager for the I-20 corridor from Meridian to Ruston, Louisiana.
Okay.
So I manage a team of 12 loan officers in that market.
Okay.
And then the support staff as well, plus produce loans,
Okay.
mortgage loans
Right.
for in that area. So got a great team. When I start looking at my team, I'm very blessed.
You do have a great team.
In the Jackson market, there's 11 of us in Jackson, and the least experienced person is Jacob Keith, and he's been at it, I think, 11 years now. So
Wouldn't call that
that's
low
not,
experience, right?
Not low experience.
That's awesome.
And the only reason is because he's the youngest person on our team too.
Right.
Jacob and I are very similar. I started in the mortgage industry. My degree from Mississippi State is in real estate mortgage finance.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So when I was in college, I was learning how to be an appraiser, a realtor, and I actually worked for a real estate agent.
goodness.
And I
Okay.
did some of the marketing stuff for them. I put the signs in the yard. I did the flyers. Remember how we used to have the flyers in the front yard?
Yeah.
I did those. I also worked for a abstractor doing abstract work in college, So I do not want to become an abstractor right now, especially in Hinds County.
Yeah.
And
Right.
with the issues that they're going through right now.
Well, that's really neat. I didn't know that about you. So you really
Yeah.
do have a history of knowledge of real estate more than your average banker, probably.
Yeah, my undergraduate degree is in real estate mortgage finance. So when I finished with the degree in real estate mortgage finance, you're a licensed appraiser, a real estate broker, and you've taken all these mortgage classes. But that was back in 1994 when I graduated from Mississippi State, and I had my father was a teacher, and I didn't have two nickels to rub together.
Right.
And so I said, okay, I'm going to be an appraiser. Well, to be an appraiser, you've got to work for a certified appraiser for 2 years, and trying to find someone willing to bring you on is very
Not
difficult, and they don't want to pay you anything but minimum wage typically. So that's part of our issue with the appraisal industry right now is the age of those appraisers is getting older, and unless you're a relative or a close friend of an appraiser, a lot of those gentlemen and ladies are not bringing new people on. But that didn't pay well. And then the real estate, who wants, there's not a whole lot of 21-year-old realtors out there, especially when you can't buy real estate back then until you were 21.
Yes, that's right.
It's 18 now. But so I went to work in the mortgage industry just because I could get a wage that was livable.
Sure.
At that time, and started off in a support role, and then became a producing mortgage loan officer as like an originator after I'd been doing it for a couple of years.
Right.
And switched over.
You just worked your way up.
Worked my way up. So
That's
How many years
awesome.
now?
Well, I've been with Cadence for 16.
Yeah.
And been in the industry, if you want to count college, I would say for 31.
Yeah.
So, because I started in the industry while I was in college.
Yeah.
So I started doing real estate, appraisal, abstract work when I was 20.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so, that was 31
You're a
years
little
ago.
older than that now.
Yeah, a little older than that now.
It doesn't seem like it, but when I first met you, you were with another bank
Yeah.
at the time. But it doesn't seem like it was 16 years ago. But,
Time has flown by. Yes.
yeah, that's right.
Well,
that's
when you're
right.
dealing with what we do, it's, you write a contract and it's usually 30, 35 days, 28 days till it closes, and and you work all the time, and then you basically look up and you're like, has it already been 3 years, 4 years, 5 years that I've been, and you look up, has it really been 31 years? And
wow.
it flies by in this industry.
Sure. Well, I feel like y'all probably have been dealing with some of the toughest parts of the real estate process, especially over the past couple of years. And right now with the interest rates and just all that. Tell us a little bit about your view of all that. We're
struggling right now.
Yeah.
I think all of our realtor partners will admit that, or, it's definitely presented some challenges. Like the mortgage bankers in Mississippi, which I've been involved with a lot over the years, National Mortgage Bankers put out a list. I want to say in the Jackson market from 20 to 23, it's somewhere like a 20% increase in sales prices in the last 3 years in our market.
Right.
And mortgage rates have more than doubled. They went from the low 3s to the mid 7s now.
Right.
For a mortgage. And so when you look at the differences in payment when the price of the houses went up and the interest rates have doubled, folks are having a tough time qualifying, especially your low or moderate income borrower.
Sure.
The gentleman that works as the assistant manager at Cain's, it's going to be tough for them to find a house. And we really need rates to come back down to help get people where they can actually become homeowners again. Because that's been probably the biggest challenge is affordability.
Sure.
And then a lot of people, they're coming back and they're saying, okay, yes, I qualify for that, but now that gas prices are higher, grocery prices are higher, homeowners insurance is another huge issue that we're having statewide, not just in especially on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, Louisiana.
Rates.
Insurance rates. They
keep going up.
In Jackson, from what we're seeing, because we service every mortgage that we do. It's not a mortgage done through our state housing finance agency, Mississippi Home Corporation. We service every mortgage we do but those.
Okay.
And so whenever you do a mortgage with us, we have an 800 number you can call. We have a website you can go to, but if there's a problem, you can call your loan officer and they can help you.
Okay.
And so about 2 hours out of my day, every day, is my previous customers calling me saying, hey, my payment just went up. Why? And if I pull it up, homeowners insurance, it's went up on average with pretty much every customer we've seen, anywhere from 20 to 25% year over year.
Mine's gone up.
Yeah, I see mine go up too. I'm not going to say who I'm with, but I've definitely seen mine go up.
But I love that people can call you directly and that you're going to, help
get
them
it
out,
fixed.
answer their question, look it up for them.
Yeah, and not that our 800 number can't do the same thing, but a simple email to me, and I can email them back with all the supporting information and get it fixed for them, and they don't have to be on hold with our toll-free number for 5-10 minutes, and they can just send me an email and we can get it fixed. And that's the same thing with any of my loan officers, that work with us here.
Right, which is so great to have that personal relationship. Again, what we always
what we're all about.
Yeah.
With real producers. Absolutely.
It's about relationships. Rates in financial markets will always change. I can verify that through living through so many years of life and seeing rates go up and down, and products.
They come and go.
They change too. They go up and down in competition, but it's relationship that is, I think, utmost important, that it holds you through all the other things that are going to change. And having a good relationship, just having trust and integrity and all, and who you're working with, I think is what builds your business long term.
Absolutely. Having somebody you can call and know they're going to give you not only the right answer, but care about your situation.
Well, Gwendolyn, that's a lot of why I came here 16 years ago, because I was with a competitor and we sold every loan we did, service released, and it was a great bank, and they did a great job, and they paid well and had great benefits, but I wanted that relationship, and I wanted to be able to, if I did that loan, that we collected the payments, and I wanted to be able to help them after the sale.
I love that.
And so having that was the number one reason why I left and came here 16 years ago.
That's really neat.
So it was important.
Yeah.
Okay, so for fun, what's the highest you've ever seen the interest rates in your banking career?
So I've only been doing.
I can tell you about that too.
Yeah. So for me, when I started in '94, it was the highest. They were around 9.5 for a 30-year fixed.
Okay.
No, I can top that.
Well, but that's in my career.
His career.
I bought a house in the 80s.
15. Yeah.
That's how old I am. Yeah.
What's crazy is we have really experienced some really great times financially since 2001. We really haven't seen rates from 2001 to really 2021. We had a 20-year run where rates were always under 6.
Right. True.
And so we had a good run, but it's going to come back. It's just when.
That's right.
Is it going to be a year from now, 2 years from now? And no one knows. I mean, a lot of my loan officers and a lot of my peers, my competitors, that we all know each other. We're all friends. We all communicate, because if there's a product that I have that they don't have, we share customers back and forth to get the customer a lot of times in the best product.
Okay.
But what we're seeing there with that is and I lost my train of thought.
But you were saying that nobody really knows, when it's going to change, and that it's such a roller coaster.
Well, a lot of my competitors, subscribe to services that are telling them what they're going to do in the long term, and no one knows. I mean, I've got an undergraduate in real estate mortgage finance. I got a master's in business. I've got what they call an accredited mortgage professional designation from the National Mortgage Bankers Association. I've got a certified mortgage bankers designation from the National Mortgage Bankers Association. There's only 4 of us in the state that have that designation.
Wow. You've got all the training.
I've got all the training, And the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know a thing, and I cannot predict the future.
You can't predict. That's true.
No, and I'm not going to. So
well, and speak to that, because I know I've heard a lot of people step in and say, "Hey, look, don't not buy a house. Don't not do what it is that you need to do for your family or for your business or whatever because of these rates." Because you don't know.
You don't.
And if you put your life on hold because you think, oh, maybe in 2 months it's going to change, well, it may not change for 6 months. And so, I keep hearing people say, move forward and then work it out, because y'all will help them come around refinancing and those types of things. So talk a little bit about that.
Thanks, Gwendolyn, for bringing that up, because the main issue we have in Jackson, in my opinion, a lot of people can afford properties. They don't want to pay the payment, but they can afford them right now at the higher rates. The main issue we're having right now, it's not down payments, because we have all kinds of down payment assistance programs. It's really not credit anymore. A lot of our borrowers have really done a really good job on credit. It's supply.
Right.
We don't have enough houses. With rates going up, a lot of people have put buying a house on hold.
Right.
And I think that's a huge mistake. I think they need to go ahead and buy now. Yes, there's going to be some discomfort where the payments are going to be $150, $200 more a month than they probably want to pay.
Right.
But when the rates drop, the supply is not going to be there, and the price of houses, I think, is going to go up. It's supply and demand. It's economics. And it's going to, back whenever the pandemic first started, people were paying, you'd have a house listed on the market and it would go on the market, and then within 24 hours, there were 30, 40 offers and
it's
people,
a bidding war.
And people were paying 30, 40,000 over.
That's right.
When rates go back down, I personally think that a lot of that's going to happen, because a lot of your builders right now have started pulling back, because builders are having to get construction loans for their spec houses, and the construction loan rates right now are running 9.5 on a construction loan is what we're seeing. And whenever you're paying 9.5%, let's say you have 3 houses that are specs, it's $1 million, and if that house doesn't sell quickly, that's $8,000-9,000 in interest that month. It cuts into their profit margins. So a lot of these guys have started to pull back on building.
Sure. And that means there's less available.
And I would go ahead and buy then refinance as rates drop.
There you go.
A lot of people ask me, when should I refinance?
Right.
The cost to refinance is typically between $3,000 to $3,500 for most transactions.
Okay.
And so it depends on how much you owe. You do what they call a break-even analysis. So if let's say you have a $400,000 mortgage and that rate drops 1%, it's going to save you $4,000 a year. Well, if it costs you $3,500 to refinance, you'll recoup that in about 10, 11 months.
Right.
So I typically tell my clients, it depends on how long you're going to be in that house to determine when you should refinance. When rates were dropping before, I had people that would refinance every 4 months because rates kept on dropping, and they would drop about every half, 0.75%, they would refinance. Yes, they incurred a lot of fees, but they were making them up in the interest savings because they had no plans on ever leaving that house. It was a forever home. Wow. So with all that said, I've rambled and went off topic a little bit.
No, it was good information.
But it's something where people need to buy right now, and they need to refinance. Yeah. When do they refinance? I would tell them if they can recoup their cost in less than 12 months, then they need to refinance.
And y'all run those numbers for them and kind of help them know whether it's a smart decision and when is good and all that.
Yeah,
we don't have to figure that out on our own.
And whether it's me or one of my loan officers or one of my competitors, we're all going to have the same software, the same knowledge to be able to guide you with that decision and let you know does it make sense or not.
Right.
Because if you tell me you're moving in 2 years, I'm going to tell you unless you can recoup the cost in maybe 6 months, it's not worth the time and effort to go through it.
Sure.
So it just depends. Everybody's different on when you should refinance. But you should not buy a house right now because of where rates are.
No, I agree. It's such a good point. I mean, I definitely think when I look back, so many people couldn't find a home because of there was no inventory. And then when they finally found one, they had such a low chance of actually getting it because, like you said, there's 10, 15, 20 different offers on the table. And you really had to stand on your head to get the house you wanted. A lot of times you didn't get it. And so at least right now, interest rates are higher. People aren't out there in the bidding wars as much. You might have a better chance of finding that house and getting that house you want. And then, hey, find your favorite mortgage officer and refinance whenever it's, that's right. That's right. Whenever it's the right time.
Well, the other thing that's happening right now that happened to us during the pandemic and the lower rates had to do with basically hedge funds and companies that were buying properties in our market that had nobody physically living here. Okay. Rates that you could borrow money at on the commercial side had got down to the low fives. And so I want to say it was like 2021. I was talking to one of our local title companies who is actually one of your preferred partners. And they had said that one specific hedge fund out of New York had bought over 1,000 properties and closed them in the Jackson market. And we're talking anywhere from $50,000 to $400,000 type houses, and then they were turning them into rentals. And they were paying over asking price without any kind of home inspection. So that local person that worked at Walmart or worked at Nissan, they could not buy because the hedge fund was coming in there with a cash offer without any kind of home contingencies. You take 1,000 houses out of our market. Again, supply and demand, and made the price of real estate go up.
Right.
And it really affected that first-time home buyer. Wow. And right now, the first-time home buyer can buy a house. Woo. It's just they've got to find a way to pay for it for the next year and a half, 2 years till rates come down to refinance.
Okay. Well,
that's
really
something that won't ever go away. I mean, that will always be a part of the market.
For now, I think it is. But right now, it's went away for the most part because
of the rates and stuff.
They're now the numbers aren't working at the new price point and the new interest rate that they're having to borrow money at. Yeah. So
there's not much supply out there. There's not.
Correct.
So
well, it's both supply plus they're looking at all the profitability of it, and at a 9.5% type rate that a business loan would probably be at right now at the current prices, and then you try to put a renter in there, the numbers just aren't working.
So they're going to step in more when it's more profitable.
They're going to step back in when rates drop with everybody else.
That's right.
Yeah.
And again, that borrower is going to be like, I can't buy a house. Now I can afford it, again, but I can't get it.
Nothing,
yeah. So another reason to buy now.
Right. Such good information. I know a lot of people are asking questions and wanting to know about that, so I think that's super helpful.
Sure, absolutely.
So tell us just real quick, what other kind of things are y'all doing, finance-wise for people?
One of the things that I do, my business is personally focused on single close construction loans.
Okay.
For me, it is the best product that I've found on the market. I'm blessed to be here and offer it. But it's for people building their individual house.
Okay.
Mortgage rates are for that particular product, or you're basically locking in at today's rate. The interest rate during your construction phase stays at that, and when the house is complete, the worst your rate can be is where it's at now. Oh, okay. And if rates are lower, when the house is done, it automatically goes to the lower rate.
Really?
We're doing 90% financing on our single close construction loans, and if you're a physician or a high net worth or a high income earner, what we consider a high income earner is if the applicants make over $250,000 a year. So we're doing 95% financing for them. Now, obviously, the financing percentage goes down as the loan amount goes up.
Sure.
But so if it's a $2 million house, we may only do 85 or 80%, depending upon their specific scenario.
Sure.
But for most borrowers in the Jackson metro area, we're doing 90% financing for them on a single closed construction loan. Whenever the house is done, we do not have to take them back through underwriting. It's all done on the front end.
Okay.
If it takes them 9 months to build the house, when it converts at the rate their construction loan was at, which is current market rate. Or if rates are lower, the lower rate.
Right.
They don't have to go back through underwriting. They don't have to pay closing costs again.
Okay.
And it converts, if it took 9 months, it converts to a 29-year, 3-month loan.
Wow,
If it took them 12 months to build, it would convert to a 29-year amortization. Okay. So it's the best product that I've seen out there, and that's what I've spent a lot of my time focusing on. That, and I do a lot of with the medical professional in the community. That's a product we have. We do 103% financing up to $726,000 if you're a physician or a dentist, and 100% up to $1 million, 95% up to $1.5 million. It's a great product, and I would say that 90% of my loans that I do are either construction loans or physician loans.
Okay.
Again, 30 years ago, I mainly did loans through Mississippi Home Corporation, first-time home buyer. But as I've got older and grown, I've switched my loan products to some different products.
Sure. Well, that's really great to know, because I know there's a lot of people out there working with their agents to find that perfect piece of land or lot in their dream neighborhood to build that dream house that they've been working on. So
absolutely,
there you go.
Love to help anyone with that. Sure, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I feel like we've learned a lot. I don't know about you. I feel like I learned a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's very good information, and very good information on cadence as well. In a time where there's a transition period going on in the financial markets, and a lot of people that really don't understand it and know what to expect. And it's been some good information, Brad. We appreciate you joining us. As I said before, we appreciate your support of Central Mississippi Real Producers and what we're trying to do. And if
you want to get in touch, they are in our magazine. They have This is the current ad, and you've got phone numbers, contact information, website. I mean, what's the best way, would you say, to get in touch?
If you want to get in touch with me, my cell phone is 601-502-6987, or you can go to my website. Like many of my competitors and my loan officers that work with me, we all bought URLs. So mine is BradleyBenton.com, BradleyBenton.com.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, good. Again, thanks for tuning in with us today. Thanks again, Brad, for being our guest and the information. Realtors, lots of good information there for you to hear, to know about what's going on in the financial markets and in the mortgage rate industry. So thanks again for being here, Gingerlin. Great job. And I guess this will conclude our video for Central Mississippi Real Producers. Tell them once again where to find us. Oh, YouTube, podcast, whatever your favorite podcast station. We're on Apple. We're on all the different platforms. YouTube, you can literally type in Central MS Real Producers, and it'll come right up. Make sure you subscribe. That's so important because it helps us out, lets us know that you're enjoying what we're doing. And, share. If you see this interview with Brad and you think, oh, I know a lot of agents or friends that could really use this information, share it, because we want to try to help get the word out. And lots of great reasons to choose Cadence. Yes. And to give Brad a call. So thank y'all so much. Yes, and if you're a top agent, we can also make arrangements to do something like this for you as well. That's right. So let us know if you want to come on and have a chat. Yeah. Okay, thanks again for being with us, and we'll see you next time. That's right.
Thank you.
So long.